start with the it's kind of like teasing you, do 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 do, and then a long pause, and then a do 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 do, and then another long pause, and then I had the idea of a loud dong. You know, creativity is everywhere.
Hi, my name is Jamal Banjar. I'm from Corvallis, and I'm here today with a very talented composer, solo pianist, and Salem resident, Bob Dahl. How are you doing, Bob?
Doing good, thanks.
Right on. So this is your second time here at CCTV Studio.
Yep.
On the first program, you talked about the process of actually composing the music and your 4 CDs.
Yeah. Composing the music is just I play, I guess, by ear. I don't really read it. I just if I have an idea that maybe comes to me, you know how on your iPhone everybody's got those voice memos.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just whistle it or hum it, tune, and then go to the piano later and find the chords or the notes. And
that's awesome.
yeah,
So
it's kind of how it starts, you know.
While you're at work, does this happen almost on a daily basis, or?
Yeah. I don't jot down everything.
I think as an artist, to be able to pause when we're feeling inspired and to try to translate our emotion through whatever, art form we choose is a really wonderful gift.
Yeah. It's kind of a universal thing, like whether you're creating music or creating art or a building. Creativity is everywhere. I mean, people create with numbers, or what. My daughter, I'm really proud of her. She's a great paint. She likes paint, acrylics and pencil, or different mediums. But I like to think that maybe she inherited a little bit that from me, you know. But,
Yeah, it seems to me that people who are artistic, it's often like seemingly genetic. I mean, a lot of times there'll be like a family of, like you're from a family of 7 children, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah, I'm youngest.
and it seemed like all of you were pretty musical.
Yeah, we were. My oldest brother was in lead in the Music Man, and he did a really good job, and we all sang.
I feel like in this day and age, there's so much technology and distraction that like a family of 7 on an RV trip is going to be so much less likely to decide that, hey, maybe this is a great time for us to learn a song together and to harmonize and to try to do something that truly involves talent, you know? Whereas a couple generations ago, it was definitely more appealing to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. It's like times have changed so much. Many years ago, you know, people would get together. They would play charades or some creative game, or they would, you know, think, or they would tell stories. And yeah, it might. I think it's still there. You know, there's still a lot of raw creativity and imagination. You know, on a camp out, sitting around the campfire, telling a story or something. You know, it's still there. But yeah, I would. About today in society and the technology and all that, I would say that makes life it just makes life noisier.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But at the same time, like I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I can hand her my phone with some YouTube videos on it, or I can hand her a set of markers and a piece of paper, and she's gonna use whatever I hand her. And like you say, I think it's deep down in all of us to want to create. And depending on what medium we're exposed to, especially as children, you know, it's going to affect how we develop whatever creative outlet we're drawn to, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Like, thank God that you grew up with a piano in your house.
Yeah. When I take a piece like Oh Holy Night, I usually create my own meter, and I always like to have introductions and pauses, and then I get back into the melody, but I add my own bridges. I add my own little departures from the melody, and I do my own composition, and then I come back into the melody. And
that seems very jazzy almost, or improv.
Some of them are, improv. That's probably the best word I could think of. So. I like to do orchestration. I was going to talk about that. On my Christmas CD, it's called Star of Night. Some of the pieces, I guess about half of them are solo piano, but others pieces I had orchestration in mind. I did Angels We Have Heard on High. Now, I can play that solo piano, but on the CD it's, well, it starts out with the In Excelsis Deo instead of Angels We Have Heard on High. I start with it's kind of like teasing you, do, 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 and then a long pause. And then a do, 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 and then another long pause. And then I had the idea of when the song started, I want it to be really a loud dong, you know, and so.
That sounds awesome.
I don't even know how to really put it into words, but I did it on that song, Angels We Have Heard on High. I like the way that it orchestrated that one. That was a fun project. The Star of Night CD was the first project I did with orchestration, percussion, synthesizer, strings. I used a vocal patch I played Oh Christmas Tree, and I wanted the sound of it a little like a choir going, oh, you know, so I guess I could have used a real choir, but I used the keyboard for that.
So it sounds like you're coming up with these unique variations on these classics by just, do you do this like throughout a period of an entire day, like maybe while you're at work, thinking about these things and then later coming and playing it and figuring it out as you go, or do you sort of orchestrate it in your mind and interpret the song in your mind and then it comes out in one piece, or is this a several day process?
That's a good question. It is like I'll take a piece of it. It's like if I'm working on what child is this? You know, I might say I want to start it with this, and then I'll have it recorded where I got, and then I'll say, well, I'll just come back to it. I got to finish this part now, and I'll be pretty clear how I want to start it and what I want to do here in the middle, and then it's puzzle.
How would you describe your inspiration and that drives you to do this? Is it sort of just like a vague sense of I need to create, or is there like a dedication to like a family member in general, or is there like how would you explain that?
I got kind of hooked on piano early 80s, late 70s. I started listening to, I think it was my mom who was listening to this what might now be called a new age style, like solo piano. The artist Michael Jones. He's still, I love Michael Jones. He's a Canadian pianist. I just love his music. Solo piano. And George Winston was another one that I really liked.
And how old are you during this period?
I was about 18, 19 around then. And then I would listen to, just how sweet like each note would go. And I don't know how or why it actually transformed, but I just thought, I think I'd like to do that. I think I could do that. And that's just kind of how it started. And then I just...
what a gift to be able to sort of find your niche or your way of expressing this at such a young age, at 18, 19. Like for some people, say they decide they want to be a famous basketball player, and they spend 20 years trying to play basketball, but they just don't have the knack for it.
Yeah.
I can think of hundreds of cases like that of people that I know, and I feel like you really do maximize your potential with the piano. So the music pieces Bob performed on piano today were God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, A Christmas Tree,
Ochre, yep.
Joy to the World, and What Child Is This?
What Child Is This, yeah. I was really happy because I got most of them in one take. So
That's talent.
The God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, if you watch it, it took me a few takes.
So your daughter Natalie helped with camera crew today, and she's also very artistically talented. She's a painter and also plays guitar.
Yeah, I can't say enough about Natalie. I'm very proud of her. I hope that her art gets out there and gets recognized. It has. I mean, she sold a beautiful painting of a Harley Davidson. She just very passionate, and her musically, yeah, she's getting pretty good on the guitar. A lot of times I will ask her, I'll say, play Blackbird for me, because it's a Beatles song.
I love that
and
song.
And she can nail it on the acoustic guitar.
That's not an easy one to play either.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to wrap up the interview for today. Thank you very much for joining us, and a big thanks to Bob Dahl.
Thanks, Jamal.
And I'm Jamal Banjar. Thank you.